Hello, kind people. This is Dmitry. Welcome to my weekly listener recap. Today we are reviewing this puzzle. It's called Contactless. It's by Tringa. I think Tringa is one of those setters that prefer to remain anonymous. So if you go to the listener website, you won't find the first name and the surname. I remember a puzzle by Tringa a few years back, maybe 2 years or 3 years ago, which I think definitely made it to the top 10 of the year, maybe even the top 5. It was a puzzle about the Cornish, Cornwall Devon scone jam cream debate. And so you had to have the River Tamar was in the vertical line in the middle of the grid, and right next to it I think there were these two columns and then one of them there was basically jam cream scone appeared, and in the other it was cream jam scone, and it was wrong, and the puzzle was called faux pas, and you had to change it into the correct ones and all the words still creating real words. That was very nice. So let's have a look at this one. The very short preamble, which is a nice change to, compared to some of the recent ones. In 22 clues, a letter is misprinted in the definition, the corrections give an instruction and the 2 steps involved. Answers clash in 18 cells, solvers must disregard Tringa in snub to resolve 12 of the clashes, making new words and revealing the theme. Then fulfill the instruction and present the other 6 clashes thematically. Chambers is the primary reference. Okay, so as usual, I tried to make notes of the clues that I solved first. So the very first one was one of the longest ones here. Get untidy mail resorted all together. This is the one without any extra, without any misprints. So you anagram get untidy mail and you get unmitigatedly. And it's nice to get that many letters. It would be even better to get the first one, but that took quite some time. So something found in fur cone 1 displays. So here the misprint is that it actually is air instead of fur, and so it's a hidden. So you have neon here. Neon is a gas that could be found in the air. And so that's another one. And, so on. One I want to show, and maybe as an aside comment, so I'm not a setter, but as a solver I find that misprints in the definition is probably among my most favorite clue gimmicks. I really enjoy solving clues which feature it, and I'm not sure I fully understand why, but I did have conversations with setters, and they all I think they all agree that this is also one of the hardest gimmicks to actually write clues with. If there are setters watching this, do write in the comments why exactly this is the case. But some of these were very, very nice. I think the one I put some exclamation marks near to 19 across. Yeah, so that was probably my pick, because conference pair is the most common type of pair here in the UK. So it's what could be simple as a surface. And here, of course, you have to change pair to peak, and you get summit, which is both a conference and a peak, and so on. So with all that, I think I got to about here, and I still had absolutely no idea about the theme. So some clashes appeared there, and I mean 3 clashes in a row in one single entry looked very suspicious, but I was quite confident about that. And then same goes with this one, and here I realized that if you could pick the letters from the clashes in such a way that you end up with Galatea here. And for some reason I thought that was the theme somehow. And here you could start getting beauty, something, something possibly. So I was thinking that we would get as a theme, sort of that is the direction this is taking us. And then I realized, yeah, then there was a clash here, which was kind of on its own. So I really had no idea what's going on. And I think around this time I started entertaining kind of other, oh no, maybe I moved a little bit further. Yeah, maybe I moved here. So this is when I completed most of the grid, and I realized there are like this G, D, G, A, R, G, and S, G clashes, and they all had letter G. And I thought that's suspicious and probably means something. And then and the message at the time was mark chord link O's circle C. So yeah, at this time I already got all the message, and I still had no idea what this was all about. Although probably I should have guessed, like, just from the from this misprinted letters, from the corrections. But then suddenly it hit me here that the other, if I get out of my head this idea that the main problem for me was that I just couldn't solve this clue, and it wasn't even the hard clue. Yeah, but somehow I knew I was looking for a lot of letters that were different from the ones here, and then I realized that probably there are no more misprints. No more clashes in this row. And so it really has to make sense. And Galatean, so Galatea's air, I thought maybe has something to do with some opera and some air of Galatea. But then I realized that this could be team. And as soon as I entertained this possibility of team, and I realized that we have court, and from here we could get net. And then very kindly, we only need one B here to get netball. And if we look at this one, airbag is very much a word. And so then I thought, okay, that must be correct. That must be netball team. And we needed to resolve 12 of the clashes. And that was a bit weird because, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there are only 11 cells here. And then I looked at what an netball court looks like, and I realized that it has this central C that we have to write. And if you look at the existing O's, so we have enough O's in the grid that we could draw a chord. So this is what a netball chord looks like. But somewhere here in the center it has a C. And then I realized that this is yet another clash that we have to actually resolve. And I realized that Gothic goes here. And then, of course, all the other clashes are the positions of netball players. I can't remember what they actually stand for. Goal shooter is GS, I think. I should have checked for this video, but I really didn't. So anyway, so once you resolve all of that, and they just, like, the top half of the grid here, well, up to this row of this row, is more or less a depiction of a netball court that you could get in Wikipedia. And so this, I think, is what you have to submit. I think I didn't even find it particularly easy, although it's definitely on the easier side, and you do solve this in a day. And I did enjoy it a lot. It's a very nice looking final grid. Also, the original grid is symmetric, and so I guess that potentially required quite a lot of fiddling. I don't think this is the type of the puzzle that, gets to the top top 10 lists at the end of the year, but I did enjoy it a lot. And so, yet again, very nice puzzle in what is a very, very, very good listener year. So, yeah, thank you for watching. And did I explain everything? I think, oh yeah, maybe I just need to mention that, of course, the title refers to the fact that netball as a sport, and if there are any non-British viewers here, which is extremely unlikely, but so netball is a very much a British sport, I think, played more or less in the Commonwealth, and it was one of those that was created specifically for women, for girls, and I think very much up to date is still very much a girls' sport, although there are mixed teams now and maybe even some men's teams. But and it's a little bit like basketball, but you don't have a I'm not, what do you call this thing? Well, anyway, the basket doesn't have a what do you call this thing in a basketball? I know the Russian word, and I just completely, the English one just slipped. Anyway, you know, it doesn't have, when you throw a ball in a basketball court, it sometimes rebounds off this thing, which I forgot the name for. And netball doesn't have that thing. And so, but that's not the main difference. And the main difference is that this is way, way, way less of a contact sport, and hence the title Contactless. Right, thank you for watching. Let's see what next week brings. I'm recording this on Wednesday, so it's only 2 more days for me to wait. Thank you for watching. Bye.